Welcome back live. We continue right here on the Sports Call, getting our daily dose of NBA action. And just now, LeBron James, with 1 second left, hit a buzzer beater to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I know that Gene was excited about that. 140 to 138.
He was with the Cavs.
Yes,
right?
and the Cavs have been struggling, and he specifically has been struggling to the point where they're looking like he's going to go in one direction, Dan Gilbert, the owner's going to go in another. But I know you wanted to get that update in there, so I took the liberty.
You know, whatever happens over there, I think I can live with it.
All right, we have a lot of people on the line, so let's get right to it. We'll start with Mike on line one. Hello, Mike. How are you? Mike. All right, Mike, that's it. He wanted to talk about Malcolm Butler, so since he brought that up, even though he didn't, I'll ask you about Malcolm Butler. And I'm surprised that there hasn't been more of a response from Belichick. I never expect one, but in this case, this was a Super Bowl, and normally guys go to that podium afterwards, they're all obligated to speak. Malcolm Butler has said, I didn't do anything wrong. This was strictly a coach's decision. Why would he make that decision, Gene?
Well, I don't know. Bill Belichick is required to speak. He's not required to say anything.
Then he succeeded.
Everyone was surprised to see Butler out of that game. There's no reasonable explanation except for what, and that's why you see so much speculation that he must have done something. But you know, here we are. It's Wednesday. It still makes no sense. It
doesn't make any sense, and especially because that guy had taken 97% of the snaps in the cornerback position all season long, practiced all week. There was no reason to think he wasn't going to play, and they needed him. It wasn't like the guys who were out there. Rose specifically got targeted and beat up.
29th ranked defense in the league to begin with.
Right. Didn't make a lot of sense, but we'll see. All right, let's go out to Cam in Peters Township. Hello, Cam. How are you today?
Good.
Good. What's on your mind, Cam?
Do you think it was smart of the Pirates to trade Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Cole?
No.
No, I don't think so either.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't think it was right.
Well, normally when you make trades like that, Cam, thanks for the call, and hope you call back again. That was your cameo, Cam, so we appreciate that. You know, you expect to get a lot more in return, and I don't know that they accomplished that because they got a lot of guys who don't make a lot of money. That doesn't mean they can't be good, Gene, but it seems to me that when you got bona fide guys who have been all-stars, then you should get something more in return than what they got.
When was the last time the Pirates made an off-season trade, acquired somebody you wanted to see play? Was it
No.
Okay.
I'd have to think more about that one, but I'd have to go back, I think, in time. Let's go to Ken in Harmony. Ken, you're joining us right now on the Bordas and Bordas hotline of the Sports Call. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you're on.
Oh, hi. Yeah, hey, I had a scenario that I thought maybe Monday might have played out, but looking at it now Wednesday, it wouldn't have. But I was just curious the fans in Pittsburgh would have thought that where Ben retired, Belichick retired at 65 and says, I'm going to move on. And then you also have the defensive coordinator move on for New England. Butler, you know, he's done. You got Gronkowski that is thinking maybe I'm done too, and there's nothing left there for Brady, and he says, I'll go to Pittsburgh and play another year or two.
What were you using to get this hallucination?
Well, that's what I said, but that was like, you know, what would us fans think? I mean, wait a minute, Harrison went to New England this year and played. So I was like, what would we think if Brady came to us and played with all the weapons that we had to have?
He's not going to do that. So anyway, thank you for the thought. Gene, your thought on that thought?
That guy should be on the show every night. That's what I think.
All right. Let's go out to L in Northside. What's up, L?
Yeah, Al, this is Alex. I asked you a question about McDaniels. He left. I mean, he was supposed to leave.
To go, to Indianapolis.
So now, what I'm trying to find out, you think maybe he's in line for Belichick's job?
I think that's assumed, but you know what? They have other things they have to deal with. Normally, if you're going to hire someone, you can't really have a successor in mind. You can't have one of those plans that they all talk about, a succession plan. You got to go through the Rooney Rule. You've got to make yourself available to bring in all sorts of different candidates. So I don't see that as an issue. But I will say this, I thought Josh McDaniels was just terrible in what he did. Not just because he turned them down after he apparently agreed to terms, Gene, but because he also had some guys who were going to be on his staff quit jobs that they currently had, and now what do?
Well, I thought that was the worst part of it. People turn down jobs all the time. I don't think that's any big deal necessarily. I mean, teams sign players and then cut them. I mean, that part of it didn't bother me at all. But the assistant coaches, I mean, that's a terrible thing for them, obviously. I think, he's either been told that he would be a strong candidate to replace Belichick, or maybe something's going on in Indianapolis. Maybe he found out that Andrew Luck, for example, was not going to be ready to play again, and the Colts are going to be bad for a long time. Or maybe he just took a look at that Colts roster and said, you know what, I don't think so.
But he also has had experience being a head coach with Denver. That didn't go well.
No.
So, maybe he just got cold feet. But the point is, he shouldn't have gone through that whole process in bringing in other people now who are sort of hanging out to dry. All right, let's go out to Chuck in Greensburg. Chuck, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Good,
hey, I have a question, and then I'll hang up and see if you can help me. I was watching NFL Network, and at the bottom it said San Francisco and I believe the Raiders are going to flip a coin at the Combine. I'm just curious, don't ask me why, how do they determine whose heads, whose tails, or does someone determine that for them?
What are they flipping it for?
Draft
See who picks first, because
okay.
one's picking 9th and one's picking 10th. And I've never remember a draft where they flipped a coin for a draft to see who picks
Terry
first.
Bradshaw.
That was the Bradshaw one, but that was for first overall.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter where the pick is. If there's some kind of, you've tied in whatever regard.
Yeah, but there's a 10th ranking. Even though you have the same record, I saw on the list, I think they have San Francisco 9 and Oakland 10.
That wasn't the question.
Okay.
Why are they flipping? The question was, who decides, who calls it?
Oh.
I don't know. You have to have an official come out. There's got to be a national anthem and a flyover. And then,
Who does the national anthem for one of those flips?
I think Pink.
Pink again.
Yeah.
She's on contract for the entire year. Once you sign with the NFL, it's like The Sopranos. Once you leave, they're going to bring you back for more. All right, let's go out to Bob in Clearfield. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you very much for the call. As part of the post-game post-mortem, I offer this observation and a question. What we saw Sunday night did not look to me like the NFL. It looked like the American Football League, the Arena Football League, and the Canadian Football League all rolled into one. This wasn't Foles versus Brady. It looked more like Hadel versus Monica. And that brings me to this question. Given the league's focus or obsession, for lack of a better word, obsession on player safety, including the head injury issues, could it, as a result, have put defenses at a distinct disadvantage, so much so that you created a complete imbalance in terms of the competitive nature of the game? So that's my question. I'd like to hear you guys.
Good question, and nice thesis there presented by you. Gene, your response.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, and I've heard this sentiment a lot since the Super Bowl, and I heard it a lot in the press box. I mean, my personal sensibility on this is that I appreciate defense very much, but there's a certain point at which it's pushed to the margins too demonstrably. But to me, 41-33 is not it. I think you can have a decent defensive game where both teams score 4 or 5 touchdowns. But that's just a matter of taste, and it's an arbitrary figure. But I thought enough defense was played in that game to make it not an issue, in my view. I mean, the Eagles essentially won the game on a defensive play. And, at certain other times, the defense, made themselves known. But the NFL has for a long time tried to emphasize offense. They've done that in almost all their rule changes. So I don't think it was anything really out of the ordinary.
We're due for a break. We'll take it right now. Come back with more of your calls right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.